Oh, good morning, guys. It's it's 4 a. It's like almost 4:30 a.m. My wife and son are asleep, and I just got finished with the second video. Now this it runs a little long, so bear with me. I did what I could. This one was particularly interesting this time, so I'll let you guys watch it. And if you like the first one, you definitely like this one. Like I said, it runs a little long, but what video that what YouTube videos don't. So I'm having a little snack here. So I'll just actually set you guys over this way. And as you can pretty much tell, I'm having tea. And now, my wife did an early morning vlog. So, I guess this is my early morning vlog. Kinda. I'll include this in the next vlog. I guess, let's see, I guess forget about that. I guess I'll have this. Right? Probably not. Probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea to have food this time of morning. Do you think I care? The next one, let's talk about weight loss. Something interesting. I guess. I don't know. What the hell? What the hell? I'm hungry. I probably shouldn't. You guys are probably saying, "Oh yeah, William, yeah, you shouldn't. You're getting fat. You're getting fat." Screw y'all, guys. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, no, seriously, I do need to lose the weight. In fact, both me and my wife both need to lose the weight. We don't know how. We really don't. It's interesting to say the least to try to lose the weight. I don't know. I wish I knew how. The best way to lose it. I'm trying to figure out how. Trying to figure out the best way to do it. And honestly, the only thing I can think of, and this is honest, is, excuse me, so this is like 11 minutes to save it. Probably P90X, I guess. Oh yeah, you guys are coming with me to do laundry again. Yeah. Ooh, fun. Woo. Really fun. Laundry day. Ooh. I'm really cheering in the aisles, Yes. My beard is going in once again. I'm just gonna let it go. I don't care. Yeah, so my wife doesn't kiss me. Big deal. Well, actually, it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to her, but right now I'm just not gonna worry about it at the moment. I'll just let it grow out, and I'll just keep it trimmed best I can. See what happens. Work wasn't even very eventful. I got home late, as usual. Didn't seem to fail. Oh. Yes, I saw her vlog, her 6 a.m. vlog. I was asleep. I did not know she did it. Oh man, she got the most brilliantly lovely, extravagantly interesting Uh, Sunrise. That's something to keep. That's a keeper. No, but I spotted something really nice. At at the pawn shop where I got my flip. Um, I saw a nice computer that has that's $169, but it's well worth it. I want to see about you know how much is going to be put on layaway, maybe. But I guess we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. On that note, I'm gonna stop, and probably as soon as I'm not gonna upload this yet. I'm gonna upload it in the morning time, or probably let it upload. It depends on how I feel. Uh, okay. Well, I guess that's it for now. As I don't know. I guess I'll just say bye. Let's try this again. Okay. My name is William. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, in Maricopa County, January 13, 1975. For a long time, I was living there, like 3 different places. Last place I was living was my grandmother's place. And strangely enough, her house is, still standing today. It's just ugly looking now because, but before that, I'll show you some pictures. I've been living there. I lived there most of my life in my grandmother's house. I grew up there. And for the longest time, almost as far as I could remember, it was just me and my mom. And until she told me my dad and her split up when I was a year old. So it kind of did something at the time. What I don't know, but and then for 5 years, almost 6, I had been put in a group home. Not on my mom's part, of course. She was forced into it. It kind of drew me down even further after what they did. After like 3 years, they moved the homes in behind the school, and everything just got worse after that because it was on campus, and there's not much. The state kind of turned a blind eye to it of what was going on. I remember there was a lot of people there. There was a lot of kids, ranging from ages as low as 5. Well, maybe not that young. Maybe 7. Ranging all the way up to probably 17, maybe. And it was strange. The living thing over there. In '88, my mom put me out of there. She regretted putting me in there. She did it because to get me away from the family. But the state had the state of Arizona had other plans at the time, and they didn't tell her until the getting in front of the judge. And I wouldn't. They never even asked me what I wanted, or what I wanted out of it. So I kind of got left out of the loop on that one. They didn't bother. So I guess at the time, they didn't think that a child's opinion mattered, but it did. I didn't like it. but in May of '88, my mom and me moved to California. Um, I had like pneumonia 16 times, uh, and we moved to California because of my health. I was virtually dying, and it didn't seem like the state cared very much. They were getting money uh, from me being there at that place. She pulled me out roughly about a year later. They closed the place down, and they shipped everybody else. I don't know where they went, but it was a good thing my mom pulled me out of there. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't have seen me ever again after that. And so, being said that, we moved to California. We were originally going to move to Santa Monica, and we found out how expensive it was. So we moved to Orange County and Anaheim. For at least about a good year, we were living in Anaheim off of Cerritos near Magnolia. And then my mom got moved to her job, her really good job, a really good paying job, moved us to Northern California, to a little town called, well, I guess you can't call it little. It was called Porterville. And for a little while, we were living there. We were, I think it was like maybe, best guess, probably about 8 months. She got her tax return. She wasn't getting paid. When she got her tax return, and here's the funny thing, the living quarters was in a trailer. We had no place to live, and we were living on the property of my mom's boss at that time. And so he was getting free security, and we were living in I would consider it a trash dump, one bed trailer, and it was ridiculous, honestly. It was sad because we really didn't have a place to live, and she wasn't getting paid. He was getting an employee for free without having to pay her. She decided to, she put her foot down and says, "No, I quit." She got her tax return, and then she quit. And then we moved back down to Southern California. When we got down there, back to Anaheim, we were living in a motel for roughly almost a month. She went looking for a job. We didn't even qualify for housing because of our living situation at the time. I mean, please, you're not going to qualify for housing because you're living in a motel, so you don't have an address. So housing says, no, you don't have an address. So, sorry, you don't qualify. You qualify for emergency housing, but you don't qualify for straight up housing, so. And Mama couldn't figure that out. We qualify for emergency housing, but not regular housing? Strange. At that time, it was 1990. I was just the early part of 1990. I was 15. Well, no, I take that back. For a little while, we were living in, at one point, we were living in the city of Orange. That's what it was. We were living in the city of Orange for a while. We did get back to Anaheim, but we ended up going to the city of Orange in one of those shelter homes, and we were there for like a couple months maybe. I wasn't in school at the time. At least not at that time. And then we moved to a place in, I believe, Garden Grove, or Santa Ana. And it looked like a rundown apartment complex, I think it was. And they had three people living in one apartment, three families in one apartment, in a three-bedroom apartment. And they told us we couldn't have locks. We couldn't lock our doors because that's not how. It was like a Christian kind of thing where we had to trust everybody. There was one family that didn't trust another family. They trusted us, but they didn't trust the other family, the second family that was in there. We were the third one. Me and my mom were the third family to go in there. And we put our lock on. And we had it on for a little while, and then they told us to take it off, so we took it off. They said if we don't take it off, you get kicked out, and we're out on the street, no place to live. When we did that, we had a TV VCR at the time. Basic box TV, little 13-inch TV and a VCR, I think it was a 4-head VCR. I don't remember, but it was a VCR and a TV, and they both got stolen. And so we got out of there. My mom, we moved. Then we moved to a place in Garden Grove. We had to have an address. We didn't realize what kind of place we were moving into at the time. My mom enrolled me into Balsa Grande High in Garden Grove. I was within walking distance of the school, so I walked. It was only not even half a block away, so it was pretty close. But we rented a room from this guy. We didn't realize later on down the road, years later, some 6 years later, that he was a pedophile. We didn't know that. And my mom suspected something was going on. We moved out, and I think that's when we moved to Anaheim again, and this time stayed in Anaheim for quite a while. Just 1 second. I think for longest time, we were there in Anaheim, living in a place off of Westchester. I guess it was a Section 8, and I guess with that place, it's still probably the same way, I imagine. Yeah, we were there for the longest time I could remember. We were there until 1994. Man. We went through a lot. We even lost my great grandmother in 1989, and we buried her over in Oakland. And as everybody remembers, that was the year that I think it was October. The World Series happened. We were on the Nimitz Freeway, the double-decker freeway that was like this, and it kind of collapsed in upon itself when the earthquake happened in 1989. We were there, I guess, 6 months before it happened, maybe 3, maybe even 2. Since it was October when it happened, I thought it was December, so they said it was October, so there's not much I can say about that. Well, we were on that Nimitz Freeway that collapsed, the whole thing. And from what I understand, they put it back up. Go figure. Stupidity, I guess. Let's see. We went through, what was it, 2 earthquakes that were back to back, both 2 hours apart from each other. The Big Bear and Landers earthquakes. Those are pretty hairy. And the complex we were in was like a townhome kind of thing. It was a 2-story, technically 3-story, because the garages were right below the apartments. So, but it was very scary. We were on the second. We were on the second floor when it happened. We were asleep in bed, and suddenly, boom! Everything started shaking like crazy. I remember bolting down them stairs like a crazy lunatic to the front door, opening the front door. My mom right behind me, and we could see the whole outside. There were uh, things sparking. I remember it vividly. In fact, it was so traumatic that it was one of those things I could not forget. I mean, if any of you have ever been through an earthquake before, man, I mean, it's scary. I mean, when you see, well, when you not only just see, but when you see sparks fly from a transformer and it literally blows, you see, you not only see that happening, but you see everything around you kind of going like this, like this, like this, like this. You know, it's a weird feeling when that happens, and it's oh man, but it happened, and I've been through five different earthquakes uh, since living back there in Southern California. 5 different ones. Another one that I definitely remember. I was also asleep on that one too. Um, my mom was asleep as well. It happened like every earthquake that happened was usually in the morning time. But I do remember it also vividly. We This time we didn't bolt down the stairs. This time it was the Northridge earthquake, and that was in '94, like I think April maybe I think it was. But it was pretty bad too. Uh, from what I remember, I think it was a 7.6 on the Richter scale. Well, regardless on that. Um, that's when we moved out. After that, we hadn't felt any earthquakes since then, really. Uh, we moved, believe it or not, we moved right down the street. Um, in fact, what made us move down the street to a 1-story, to no downstairs apartment, was because my mom had to go through surgery that same year in '94. Uh, to put in the best part, she's been through three heart. She went through 3 heart surgeries. She was the third one to go through it, and when she was 8 years old, and the first one to live through it, have me, and then live as long as she did. So her second open heart surgery was pretty scary. After so many years, they'd replaced it. They'd replaced the with a ball. It was like I guess no bigger than a ping pong ball. The valve was like, I think it was that big. I'm not totally sure. And then some years later, we found out it was leaking, and the doctor that actually showed me the footage of her heart, I saw it, and you could see the blood flowing backwards. And blood's not supposed to flow backwards with that kind of valve, but it did. And when I saw it, it was like traumatic seeing that, because I knew if nothing was done, she would die. And so she went through that another open heart surgery again in '99. Um, but I do remember 1996. Myself, my mom, my grandmother, and my cousin Jennifer, we all went to Wisconsin for a family reunion, and it was fun. We were there for 2 days, but it was fun. And when we went, and another thing that I found really interesting was actually meeting several stars. In fact, on down the line, believe it or not, we met a long time ago. Back in the '80s, we met. Uh, shoot, the dude from Dukes of Hazzard, the one who played Bo. Um, I can't remember his name. I'll remember it eventually. We met him. We met Kenny Rogers in concert. We saw the Monkees in concert. Everybody remembers that. Everybody who knew the Monkees, we saw them in concert. Not all of them. We only, saw three of them. Went almost deaf on that one. Um, man. But the Kenny Rogers concert was Tammy Wynette and Kenny Rogers in concert. And at that time, I was going to be getting a tambourine from him. He was throwing tambourines out to everybody. And I almost got it. And I'm going to say it, some bitch in front of me darted in front of me and grabbed it. And I was the last, I was gonna be the one he was throwing it to. He was throwing it to me. And I remember her just simply darting in front of me. I was right here in the stands, and he threw it right to me directly. And she just simply, here I am, and here's this lady right here. She's sitting way the heck over here. She's sitting way over here. I'm sitting right here, and she goes like this in front of me, and grabs the tambourine. And I've never met such an inconsiderate person in my life until that day. And I thought, damn, what a bitch. And I actually said that. I said, what a bitch. We left, and I thought, he might have had an extra tambourine. He was going to actually come up to me and hand it to me directly because of what she did. He didn't, so that was okay. John Schneider. That's who it was. And then, who was the other people we met? Dom DeLuise and his family. In fact, I even got a phone call from Dom DeLuise himself, but unfortunately, I was at the time I was in school. I was in college, and he called my house directly, and he thought it was a birthday thing that was going on, and I said no. There was a few other people. One gentleman, two guys actually, from a radio station that doesn't exist anymore in California. One guy was nice. One guy was completely rude. Rude. And then we met. There was like a truck show a long time ago. They don't do it anymore, but they did it for 12 years. And I guess they stopped doing it. I went to a Star Trek convention, my first one, over there at the stadium. No, not stadium. At the convention center. Sorry, convention center. And I actually met a lot of the people that were are from the original series and and a couple people from the Next Generation. I got pictures and then I lost them, and I had the last picture of James Doohan, who played Scotty in the original series and all the other movies, and I lost the picture because I screwed up. I screwed up on the film itself. I personally screwed up. Okay, I personally screwed up. I used the wrong film speed, and I screwed up on that one. So it was my fault. My bad. But we met Dom before my grandmother died, and I still have the pictures. He signed them. Him, his wife, Peter DeLuise, Michael DeLuise, and David DeLuise. And just earlier this year, we found out that Dom DeLuise died. Um, I'm pretty sad he died, but I'm keeping his picture for the simple reason we met him, and it's also the only picture I've got of my grandmother also in the picture. It's a Polaroid, but it's also got my mother in it too, along with Don right behind them. But I was the only considerate one. Me, my mom, and myself were the only me, my mom, myself. Me, I meant me, my mom, and my grandmother were the only ones considerate enough to apologize to him for sitting in front of me. He said, "No, no, 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 no problem, no problem. That's what that area, handicap area, is there for." And we didn't know who it was at first till we heard his voice. I'm thinking, "That's Dom DeLuise." Oh, yeah. And we met him at Universal Studios. Him and his family were out having a nice day, having a really good day. And some years later, I saw Peter DeLuise again at that truck show. And I handed it in. That's also where Dom DeLuise called. It was actually for my graduation. And he didn't realize it. And so when I graduated high school. Oh, by the way, I went to Western High School, and then I graduated, and I stopped going there because of some witch of a teacher, and she still works there. And this is the funny thing. I picked up a desk, and this is the funny thing I found out about her. She does not like blondes. She did not like teaching regular work. So I got pissed, and I physically picked up this desk. This desk was probably heavier than me at the time. I was just a puny old freshman, in high school. And so I just literally picked up this desk. And I knew it was heavier than me, but at a fit of rage, I picked it up, and I went like this, I just chucked it at her. Too bad it didn't hit her. But it didn't. It hit a dry erase board across the room. I was on one side of the room, and it went to the other side of the room. I mean, I chucked that sucker, and it bent the desk. It broke the wood on the desk. It broke the tabletop, and it bent the rest of the desk. I said, "Oh man, I wish I had a picture of it." But then I went to Catalan High School. Go Catalan Knights. I graduated from there, and my mom and I found out both that I could have taken regular classes. They put me through SED. SED means special education classes. And I could have gone through regular classes and graduated with honors. But obviously at that time, the school district didn't think so. So, it's over and done with, and I don't want my son going through the same problem I did. Wow. Oh man, I'm gonna have to definitely edit this for sure. Wow. God, I got a lot to talk about in so little time. I mean, God, it's 6 a.m. Well, I'm gonna stop right now, and I'll continue this chat with you guys later. So I'll continue later on. This will be my vlog for today, and the rest of the day I'm just gonna spend with my family. So I'll continue. Trust me, I'll continue.